Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Today, we will do the most important transit this year, that is Saturn and Pisces. And because of the 6 planets in Pisces, it becomes a very important transit on that day. Sir, sir will take us through it. Thank you, sir. Thank you for.
It was a rush up. So I hardly had one day to do the things. So I might have did some mistakes in the detailing. I didn't have time to check up. So just excuse me in case I put some dates wrong or something. I tried to check it up, didn't have time. Okay, just go with the morning or evening prayers.
Okay, sir, no problem.
Yeah. Hari Om Ganana Ganapatikum Havamahe Kavim Kavina Jeshtarajam Brahmanaspata Anashrimanu Vipasiva Sadhanam Yano Devi Saraswati Vaje Birvachini Deenamadatrayavatu Ganeshaya Maha Saraswati Namaha Sri Gurupyo Hari Om Om Bhurvasvaha Savitarvare Enyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimeti Rupacha Aditya Somai Mandalaya Badaya Kurushukrasyan Vyastra I think everybody have your things in mute, okay? Before we start itself, there's a lot of sound. Keep it in mute yourself. So when you'll need to speak, you can speak. Okay? Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to actually detail about how is this 12 signs going to be for each of the signs. This session is not going to be there. It is more of every aspects of transit Saturn given in the classics or my experience which I have got to you. So it's not like usually traditionally Saturn is going for Rishabha Rasi, it is going to the 11th. So for Tula Rasi, it's going to the 6th. And for Makara, it is going to the 3rd. So usually Saturn in the 3, 6, 11 or 10, 3, 6, 10, 11, it is good. The rest of the Rasi, it is supposed to be bad. So Sade Sati is supposed to start for Mesha. It is Janmasani for Pisces. And it is supposed to be Janmasani left for Aquarius. So these are the signs Aquarius, Pisces, and Aries, which are going to be generally affected. And Leo, it's going to the 8th. So this is the effect. But let's see of different ways of what the classic says. In experience, how do we exactly see? Is it the general, this is the general effect? Because we all know, what is it? Just know Donald Trump in the previous election, Sade Sate, he won the election. And we had our Prime Minister winning both the election continuously in his Sade Sate. Then after people started saying Sade Sate does not exist, it is not there in the classics. So it is all kind of mixed. Let's see when we apply the rules, where does it come to? So this is a picture of in Tamil Nadu. There is a picture where all the 3 Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva are together, and it is Swayambhu Sanishwar. It's called Kuchanur. Okay, this is supposed to be the transit, Saturday transit planetary positions of its New Year. It is Lunar New Year starting after place in India. They take it as New Year. In just after the New Year, Saturn is starting. So surprisingly, Saturn is in its Janma Nakshatra. Revati, it is transiting. And in fact, Amavasya is his birth Tithi. So, but it is Prathama. So somewhere close to its birth Tithi and Amavasya, Saturn is moving to. So everybody is scared with so many 6 planets, and in many places it is an eclipse also. Previous days is an eclipse, it is a New Year. And then the Saturn transit, is it some negativity or there in the world or everything is gone. It's very difficult to check up the Lagna because in one particular place it is given as 816 and another software it is given 915, both for Lahiri and Navamsa. So somewhere between 815 and 915 is the transit. So mostly It is if it is traditional Lahiri, it will be in Simha Lagna. If it is in the latest Lahiri, it is supposed to be in Libra Lagna. So this is the basis. We will see it later. It's on a Saturday in a Revati Nakshatra, Brahma Yoga, Kipstugar Karna, Shukla Pratipada. What is the meaning? It's supposed to be even Saturn Hora. Okay, let's see what. So, okay, there are some people which says Saturn transit is supposed to be seen with padas. So what is it, 13 padas before and 13 padas for Sade Sati. Or some people started saying maybe it is with degrees. So Sade Sati is 45 degrees plus and 45 degrees before. Some people say take the nakshatras. So it is 4 nakshatras before and after. Any nakshatra 4 becomes, it is there. So what is it? What is exactly for Sade Sati? How do we take the transit? I'll give you in my experience. Okay, you take degrees, padas. There is a meaning in it. I'm not saying. The intensity of the transit is seen in nakshatra, pada, degrees, everything. But in my experience, Saturn or Jupiter, when it enters the sign, I've seen it giving the effect immediately. Not Saturn. Jupiter will give it immediately. In my experience, every time it enters into a sign, I will know the good or bad effect of Jupiter entering within hours. Within hours, sometimes even 2-3 days earlier. The event will happen only after the transit, but we can easily feel 2-3 days before. I've seen. In Saturn, I'll tell you one very important special thing on Saturn. The moment Saturn enters a new sign, 7 days, you will see what I say, if Saturn is going to do good or bad within 7 days. Then the next effect is in 7 weeks, and the complete effect Saturn is going to do good or bad in 7 months. I'll give you my own experience. My brother was going through Hashtamasini. It was previous. He was he's an Aslesha moon, Saturn in the 8th house. He was already running through 12th Lord Dasa and Nietzsche Saturn. So it is always, when the Saturn is bad, when you are running moon and Saturn, it can be the worst. I will deal you the rules also. In what Dasa, Saturn, it can be good or bad. And running moon and Saturn is typically moon and Saturn. Because running at Saturn, if he has a Nietzsche Saturn in the horoscope in the 9th house in the Badhaga sign. Saturn moved to the 8th house. So you can say it is Aslesha, so it will start later and all these calculation. If you can say, but 7 movement entered, 7 days he was sick. 7th day we had to put him in the hospital. 7 days in the hospital. Exactly after 7 days he passes away. This is the proof of even what is exactly on day. I know Saturn, it is neither the Ainam, so you need not worry. Some people say Vaki Panchanga, Trikanida Panchanga, that Panchanga, Pushpar, all that. So I know, not this, I can give you lists and lists of details. So it is not about Sade Sati, nakshatras, degrees, padas. The moment Saturn enters within 7 days, is Saturn going to be good or bad? You will know. Not that everything will be known within 7 days. If it is going to be bad, you will have most of the Sade Sati, I know, will Saturn's escorter means something will happen to the leg. See, you have to keep the things open, or we'll have to mute you all together. Last time we didn't do this, so you'll have to have a self-control of yourself, or we'll have to mute you and then unmute you every time. So please keep the things. Okay, so Saturn, when it catches you, first thing it will do is there'll be a problem in the feet. Usually they will say when Saturn, for Sade Sati, I'm saying, it supposed to enter the head. In the middle Saturn, Janmasani, it is in your heart. And the last part, you call it Padasani, it is in your feet. But moment Saturn is caught, especially for Sade Sati, there's a sprain, there's a fracture, or any other problem. So something related to the feet sounds, you will know Saturn is entered. So this is a start. So it's not to scare Saturn is going to be bad. We will look at the other. So understanding Saturn's transit. Now the first question is Saturn from the moon or Lagna? I don't know. Everybody is confused. Is it from moon or Lagna? All classics only mention from moon. There is no Lagna. Lagna is a Western concept. Western concept of seeing transit from the Lagna is a Western concept. Traditional way, it is only moon. I'm not saying don't take the Lagna. Lagna must be taken. Lagna, how it is taken is, where is Saturn moving? Where Saturn is moving to the 7th house, marriage. It is moving to the 5th house, children. It is moving to the 10th house, profession. 11th house, gain. So what Saturn movement to a house from the Lagna will indicate what is Saturn going to do. Only what is Saturn going to do. Will Saturn be favorable or unfavorable? This can be only judged from the moon sign. So it is very, very important to judge whether it is favorable or unfavorable. Like example, I'll give you. Let's say if Saturn for a, let's say, what is it, for a Scorpio Lagna, Taurus moon. So Scorpio Lagna and Taurus moon. So Saturn is moving to the 5th house. So it is saying something related to children, and it is 11th from the moon. So it is going to be keen of children. In case for the same Scorpio Lagna, if it is a Aries moon, it will be loss of or a child moving away, travel, it will be regarding that way. Or let's say if it is Scorpio Lagna and if it is Leo moon, what I say, it is 8th house. So it's something, problems related to the child. So you will have to link it correctly later. The first major aspect of seeing taking, it's not only the moon, it is not only the Lagna. You will have to take it together. You will only have to judge it together. So this is a start. There are many ways. We'll go different depths to understand Saturn. But this is the beginning of anybody understanding the effect of Saturn is you will have to fuse both Lagna and moon to get a particular result. We have more to go into the nakshatras and we'll go into the padas also. But before that, this is the first basic. So in the nakshatra and transit, the next will be it going to the nakshatra. Going to the nakshatra, two ways of understanding the nakshatra. Now Saturn is going to move to Purvabhadra, then it will move to Uttarabhadrapada, and it will go to Revati. So there is a significance of Saturn in these three signs. The nakshatra meanings are there. Purvabhadra is about renouncing. It's the most transformative nakshatra. Uttarabhadra is extremely very spiritual sign. And it's also about blessings. And Revati is Saturn's Janma Nakshatra, and it's about nourishment. Saturn will never do for anybody. When Saturn is in Revati, it will never do anything back. So even Uttarabhadrapada, it is not very harmful. Saturn in certain nakshatras like Kritika, Aritra, even Purvabhadra, it is bad. In Vishaga, Jeshta, Mula, it can be quite bad. In certain nakshatras, Saturn can be actually very in Pushya. It can be very, very good. So the quality of the nakshatra is very, very important. And it's just not the quality of the nakshatra. The sign lord, where is Jupiter placed? From your moon, where is Jupiter placed is very important. So Jupiter during this transit, where will it be? It will be in three signs. It will be in Taurus, it will be in Gemini, it will be in Cancer. In these three signs, mostly when Jupiter goes to Cancer, it'll exalted Jupiter, sign lord Cancer, aspecting it. So Saturn will stop doing any negativity even for the people who is bad. So the sign lord Jupiter from Saturn, it is in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th house. It is going to be good. So this is next nakshatra. One more rule is you have to see the Tara Bala. Everything I'll explain separately. I'm just giving you an introduction. The Tara Bala of the so from your moon sign, is it moving to the 1, 3, 5, 7, or it is moving to 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9? So the Tara Bala and the natural nakshatra quality of the moon and the sign lord together, we'll have to see. The padas I will tell you last with the example. Then it is just not that all. When it's entering into Pisces, what planets you have there? What is the strength of your house? What you have there? Do you have a benefic there or you have a malefic there? What to say? And if your sign lord is in 6, 8, 12, let's say if it is going to the 5th house and the 5th lord is also well placed in your horoscope, or the Jupiter is exalted. So it's very important, not Jupiter's strength in the transit chart. Jupiter, for this transit, how is Jupiter in your horoscope? If you have a strong, well-placed Jupiter, Saturn transit will be good. If you have 6, 8, 12, a weak Nicha or afflicted Jupiter, even if it is going to a good house, Saturn may not be very, very good. So it is absolutely this transit, depending on Jupiter's position in a horoscope, how it is going to be. Okay. So and then the last part is what are the planets sitting in Pisces in your horoscope? If you have malefics there, it can be challenging. If you have benefics there, whichever house it is, if it is, it will be good for you. Okay. Okay. Any doubts so far? We will move to the next part. Everything I will tell in detail. I'll just give you an introduction. Then I'll give one by one from the Tarabala to everything. Anybody has any doubts so far? Yes. Yes, Jagrut. Shobha ma'am. Yeah.
Sir, Jupiter we have to consider.
Yes, it is going to Jupiter's house, no? So how is Jupiter in your horoscope and how is Jupiter in transit? Both must be judged.
Both we have to see.
Both must be seen. It's very
Okay.
important. First, it is very important how it is in your horoscope. If you
Okay.
have a strong, well-placed Jupiter, wherever Saturn is going from Lagna, moon does not matter. So it is very important. Or what are the planets sitting in Pisces matters a lot.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yes. Next was.
One more question. Sorry. Do you use when it's going into the house? Do you ever use the Panoti yoga? So looking at the relative position of the natal moon and transit moon when Saturn enters that
I'll
sign.
come. There's
Oh, you're doing that. Okay.
That is what's the Murti Nirnaya. I'll explain to you. Definitely that we'll have to take that into account. When Saturn is moving to a sign, where is the moon? And depending on that, what is there? There is one.
Okay, sorry, I'm
calculation.
jumping the gun.
Yeah. No, with whatever I spoke, you can ask the doctor. Yeah. Anybody else? Any other thing?
Yeah, you said malefic in Pisces, where Saturn will be transiting can make it difficult.
Yeah.
But if that malefic is the Lagna Lord, then
it's accordingly, you take it accordingly. The strength of the malefic all matters. If it is 5 and 9 Lord, it's not going to be a problem. What he says, if it is a yoga karka for you, it will not be that bad. So I will explain you in detail which planets Saturn moves, what effect it will give. In fact, I explain it when it is has good lordship, what results it will give, and when it has bad lordship, I've explained it. I'll tell you about all the planets which Saturn meets. So what could be the effect? Let's say Sun, it meets Sun, but Sun is your Lagna Lord, 5th Lord, 9th Lord, 10th Lord, then it has a different meaning. But if Sun is a 6th, 8th, 12th Lord, then it has a different meaning. And if it is going to meet in the 6, 8, 12 of your horoscope with a malefic, then it has a different meaning. But if it is, let's say, in a good sign, then it has a different meaning. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Navamsa and transit. This is also another very, very important aspect of judging, not just from the Navamsa, from all the Varga charts also we can go. So just as there are two ways of seeing Navamsa, the last part, the Rasi Tulya Navamsa, I will teach you from every pada. The moon in Pisces has 9 padas. So it is going to move into the 9 padas. So how do we see the difference? See, there are moving into 3 nakshatras as an effect, moving into the 9 padas as a effect. How do we see it? I'll give it at the last part because that is the most important summary of the whole chart. But in between, how do we use the Varga chart? Scan the Varga chart we used in Navamsa. 2 ways the Varga charts are used. One is after the basic chart is seen, whatever is your moon sign in Navamsa, the effect can be from the moon sign also. So, but it will be related to marriage, Bhagya, and Dharma. So let's say if your moon sign is Rishabha, Saturn is going to the 11th. You have to blend both. So, but primarily the D1 will give the most of the 60 and 70. But let's say it is bad in the D1 chart and in the Navamsa chart, it is well placed. So it will give a mixed effect. It is good in D1 and D9. It will give, don't look at the Saturn's position in the Navamsa. Okay, don't look at Saturn in the Navamsa. Only your moon sign in D9 is taken. And that Saturn in D1 it is taken. So what I say, you can judge the results of moon also from your Navamsa moon. So for profession, you can judge the Saturn, where Saturn is moving from your Dasamsa moon. For progeny, you can judge the Saturn's position from the Saptamsa moon. So for each particular Varga chart, you can take the moon in that Varga and judge the results. But see, it will have only a 30% results. Don't give too much importance to it. It is subservient to the D1 chart. So mostly the D1 chart will predominate. The Varga chart will take a 30-40% effect. Okay. You're clear with this, or anybody has any doubts in the Navamsa and transits? I have one more to how the Navamsa is used in the Pada when I'm using the nakshatra padas or the Navamsa padas, which is the most important aspect of a Saturn transit. I'll come to that. But just judging, but like I have some people who Saturn moves to Pisces and then moon is in Pisces. Yes, in the Navamsa, it is Janmasani. In Navamsa, the moon is in Leo. It is Ashtamasani, but it is not for every aspect, only related to relationship that Navamsa is supposed to be seen. Yes, Lakshmi ma'am.
I do have a question here.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, like Saturn in D1 chart, where it is placed based on that we have to sing with moon, or right now where it transiting from the moon we have to sing.
No, I didn't get you. Come again.
No, I'm saying that right now the Saturn, wherever is in the D1 chart,
Yes.
we have to take that placement and transiting to the Pisces, we have to consider that. Or from moon right now where it is transiting, we have to consider that.
No, you don't take today's moon and get the result. What I said,
No,
that is
no,
only
I'm saying
for
moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today's moon you don't
Moon
need to
in
see.
Leo or somewhere.
No, not necessary. See, you can take the current moon just to see in what association Saturn mixes up. To see today when Saturn is there for a month, 2-3 months, it'll have all benefics sitting on with it. So, moon will be coming to Saturn, mixing with, blending with Saturn. So there will be a blend of results, but primarily you will have the result will be your horoscope, what planets are there in Pisces. And the current transit, as planets meet, like Sun, you might have 2 malefics coming in meeting Saturn, or you might have 2 benefics coming in meeting Saturn, or Saturn will be in a Pabakatri or Shubhakatri. Many things will happen. Saturn will go combust. All this happen in these 2.5 years, it can happen. So it can interfere. But this is on 50%. But prime 50% it will be how is Pisces in your horoscope? In what strength, what auspiciousness, what inauspicious is Pisces in your horoscope from your birth moon and from your Lagna. The strength of Pisces and a Pisces in every other Varga will matter how Saturn's effect is going to be in Pisces. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question very quickly.
Yes, ma'am.
So, if you want to see career, the effect in the career front, you will look at the Saturn's placement in the D1 chart. Am I correct?
Yes.
And you will look at the moon or the where Saturn is moving in the D10 chart.
No. Don't take like that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's not the way you see. In Dasamsa, where is your moon?
In Dasamsa, where is
your moon?
Where is the moon?
Where is the moon? Only take that.
Only take that. Okay.
And where is Saturn at the moment today? Okay. So Saturn is in Pisces. Let's say somebody has Dasamsa. It is in Gemini. Dasamsa mode is in, so Saturn is moving to the 10th house.
Right.
Okay. You don't need to say where in the current transit Saturn is moving in the Dasamsa. You don't take, because if you take that way, every 1 year Saturn will touch all nine signs. So there's nothing special about it. From your Varga moon, where is Saturn moving in the D1 chart? Don't take the Saturn
chart or D10 chart. Sorry.
D1 chart. I know you all make that mistake. Don't move Saturn to the Varga and then check from the Dasamsa moon. Don't check it like.
So what do we check in D10 chart, sir? That is what I'm not. Only moon.
Only moon.
Okay.
And Saturn is in Pisces. What is the strength of Pisces in your Dasamsa chart? What planets are sitting in Pisces? What Bhava it becomes? That strength you will have to take. So the strength of with the Pisces and Dasamsa will mean a lot for profession.
Thank you, sir.
This is the same for Navamsa also. You don't need to see where Saturn is moving in Navamsa. No, it is only in Pisces. It's going to be for 2.5 years. From your Navamsa moon and every other planet, you will have to understand the meaning. This is how you take a little more deeper into analyzing the Varga charts. Last, I'll explain one particular chart. For example, I'll tell you all the rules. I'll keep on chart. I'll explain to you whatever I've taught. I'll give you an example. So this is how you see the Varga chart. Okay, Dasa and Saturn. So before we go into that, the Dasa and Saturn, anybody is running Saturn Dasa and Moon Dasa, the transit of Saturn can be very, very important, because this is the whole thing is about Saturn. So if you are running some other Dasa, Saturn's effect is different. But if you are running directly, if you are running Moon or Saturn, this can be for the good or the bad. It can be a very powerful Saturn. Example, let's say if you are, especially for Ashtamasini, you are running Saturn Antardasa and Saturn is moving to the 8th or 12th from your Lagna, or so this can have, or Saturn is moving to a good house, 11th house for you. Immediately you can be so sure what it will do. But the same result, if you are not running, you are running some other Dasa and Saturn is going to the 10th or 11th, the effect of Saturn is very little. So naturally, your horoscope, your Dasa is the primary, 60-70%. It's primary, it is the effect in your horoscope. So the Dasa, or the transit of any planet, even Saturn, is only 30-40%. But if Saturn is your Dasa Lord or Moon is your Dasa Lord, then the transit can become very, very important. Or if Saturn is your Lagna Lord, if Saturn is your Moon sign Lord, or if Saturn is your Atma Karaka, then Saturn transit can be, it can it can dominate the chart more than the Dasa. If Saturn is Saturn is Digbala in a chart, or most of the planets are sitting in Saturn side, or Saturn is aspecting most of your planets. So if Saturn has a very strong say in your horoscope, it will override anything in your horoscope. Like I will give you my own example. Chad, I'm a Scorpio Lagna. My Saturn in the birth horoscope, it was in the 4th side. My Moon is in Sagittarius. My Saturn went to the 4th house. The previous transit, when Saturn came to Aquarius, I bought a house. That is about 30 years back. After that, I never shifted. I was there 30 years in the same house. Same Saturn came back to the 4th house. I shifted my house, not to a own house, to a rented house, but bigger, better house. After same results, after 30 years, it is happening. I was not running Saturn or anything. But Saturn is in my own sign. I have 4 or 5 planets in Saturn's. So Saturn's transit can be very, very strong. Saturn was just moving the 4th from Lagna and 3rd from my moon sign. Immediately, it made me shift the house after 30 years. So sometimes Saturn, the house change was not seen in my Dasa or Antardasa. It was only seen just in Saturn. Sometimes Saturn transit can overplay even your Dasa and Antardasa in certain conditions. So I'm telling you, either it is your moon is a Dasa Lord, or Saturn is a Dasa Lord, or Saturn is a very strong planet in your horoscope, then Saturn can dominate your whole horoscope. But if Saturn is not a very strong planet in your horoscope, Saturn may not have any influence on wherever Saturn goes. So Saturn, to be good or bad for both aspects, somewhere Saturn must dominate your horoscope. Next thing is, let's say Saturn is you're running through Ashtamasini or Janmasini or some delicate Saturn position. If you are running through a Dasa Sandhis, you are going to end or start a new Dasa. Or you are running through malefic Dasa as Rahu, Kedu, Mars, Sun Dasa. If you are running through a weak malefic Dasa, Saturn, dangerous Saturn Dasa transit can be very, very important. So it is very, very important when you're running a weak malefic or afflicted malefic Dasa, the Saturn effect can play a very strong role. You're getting married with Ashtamasini, Janmasini, this can have a very important role. And again, Saturn's transit is always judged with Jupiter. Saturn is like in the clock, you have the small and the big, hand, So the small hand, which indicates the time, is Saturn. And the big hand is where Jupiter is. Together, you find out what the time is. So it is very important you understand where Jupiter and Saturn to come to a result. Okay, any doubts on this? Dasa and Saturn. How your Dasa is very supreme, but there are certain times when Saturn can overplay and dominate your horoscope, and Saturn transit can be the most important. Okay. In fact, in Sade Satis, it's very common. People are saying Sade Sate is one close relation, grandfather, grandmother, father. But somebody who will pass away is a very common aspect seen. In many people, you'll ask them something important will happen. But there is in certain, it's not. This is a negative shades of Saturn, but there are when Saturn can be extremely very good also. I'll come to that. When it can be good, I will come. Okay. This I've already explained to you, but I'm telling you again. Saturn in the 3 nakshatras. Purvabhadra. So this time Saturn is moving in 3 nakshatras. Purvabhadra, Uttarabhadra, Revati. Purvabhadra is purification and transformation through tapas, discipline, and effort. So I think the only nakshatra which Saturn can actually be really bad is Purvabhadra. Saturn is already lame and Purvabhadra has only one leg and Saturn is moving to a one-legged Purvabhadra. So it's a very intense and volatile nakshatra. So a lot of transformation, I think, until Saturn is in Purvabhadra, you can see. I think the only nakshatra, Saturn in that sign, is going to be bad. Uttarabhadra, it's a very spiritualizing nakshatra and it's also about material blessings. So Uttarabhadra can be good. Revati, Saturn's own nakshatra, and the nakshatra is ruled by Pusha. So I think the first, second, third pada, it will not be much bad. Only when it comes to the 29th degree, the Saturn may not be very good. Against Pisces, you must know what is Pisces. Pisces is in the end of the zodiac. It is a completion. It's a moksha sign. It is a spiritualizing sign. So mostly when Saturn is in Pisces, it's for the world, something to let go, something to complete, a culmination. We are at the, whenever Saturn is coming to, we are in a culmination of a big, like a 30-year age coming to an end. And when Saturn moves to Aries, there is something newly started. And Saturn doesn't like any new starting, so that's why he gets Nietzsche in Mesha. But in the 12th house, so there is a kind of every 30-year-old cycle. And this is an ending of a 30-year-old cycle. So I think we must be ready for the transition. If there is a transition where we need to let go of the old and we have to move and accept something coming. So that is the meaning. The other nice thing of the Saturn transit, though people say 5 planets, 6 planets are there in Pisces, it is in 11th from the sign Lord. Jupiter, the sign Lord, is, and all of them are in 11th from the sign Lord. So somewhere I don't see anything. There might be some stray here and some negative, but they're all in the 11th from the sign Lord. Jupiter changes, it will go to the 10th. Jupiter goes down in Cancer also, it will be in the 9th house. So the sign Lord is not going to go 6, 8, 12 from where Saturn is stayed. So it is the relationship between which house Saturn moves and the sign Lord is very auspicious. So the only thing, it is the 12th house, natural 12th house. So somewhere, what I say, be ready to let go or adapt the new change. Or what I say, it's an age. You look back, we have moved into the computer age. Many things have changed. So Saturn here moved, and the whole aspect will change. And every sign has a meaning. I remember when Saturn entered Scorpio, you will see all these ghost movies. Everybody, every language taking ghost movies. That was a theme for 2.5 years. Many directors I meet, I'll say, what kind of movie take ghost movies. Then it moved to Sagittarius, people started taking spiritual movies. So even the movie style which they take, why I'm saying movies, that is the mass consciousness of the people. You can see the mass consciousness related to the movies, the kind of songs, what songs become famous or who becomes famous. You will know that is a mass consciousness of the people. So the next 2.5 years, you must understand in Pisces what should be the tenor or the genre in which it is going to work. Okay. So naturally, I've already explained Saturn transit and Jupiter. So Saturn's effect in Pisces is related to Jupiter's position in Taurus. So Jupiter will be in the 3rd, 4th, 5th from Saturn. So Jupiter is in Taurus till 15th May 2005. Jupiter in Gemini from 15th May 2005 to 18th October 2025. Jupiter is in Cancer. Jupiter is moving very fast in Agitara, and this year itself he is moving in Cancer. So he'll be exalted for a few months. He's retrograde. So when he's retrograde, Saturn is going to give a different result. And when he's in Adichara, Saturn is going to give a different result. So when he's in Cancer, I'm very sure wherever for anybody, Saturn, even if it is bad, when Jupiter becomes exalted, Saturn will be aspected by Jupiter and the sign Lord will be exalted. So I'm very sure Saturn will never give any negative results during that time. So this is the effect of, it's very important to judge Saturn. It's very easy this time to judge. Let's say Saturn was in Mars's house or Venus's house or Moon's house. It'll keep on changing and be difficult for you to judge it. But because it's moving to Saturn's house, it's very easy because it's a slow phase, so you can easily relate and tell what Saturn will be. Imagine Saturn Saturn moved to Mesha. Every 45 days, Mars is transit. The meaning of Saturn and Mesha will change. Okay. Any doubts anybody has regarding this? Saturn's transit and Jupiter and the previous, which I said, into these three stars. Any mean? Y'all have any doubts on this?
Sir, I have one question. This is Aarti.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, when Saturn is retro and Saturn, the moon is in Bharani Nakshatra where Saturn gets debilitated, the result, is it going to be too bad, or it minus becomes plus, or how does it play out?
What if a Bharani, you mean?
Yeah, if moon is in Bharani and Saturn is retro in natal chart.
No, I'm saying moon in Bharani for the natal person or in transit.
No, natal person.
Why are you worried about? Oh, because Bharani is the Nietzsche aspect of moon. No, you
Nietzsche
don't take.
for Saturn.
No, you don't take it like that way. Just check out what is Saturn's lordship. See, how is Saturn going to be for you is, what is your lordship of moon in your side? What is your lordship is? What is Saturn's lordship is? A Sade Sati is like a Saturn Dasa. Exactly like Saturn Dasa. So you judge what is the moon's, what is your moon sign? What is your Saturn sign? These both are going to meet. So see, every Dasa is going to be when what is related to the moon. So just imagine if it is Saturn Dasa. How will be Saturn Dasa for you? Depending on Saturn's, how will you judge Saturn's Dasa? The lordship and the placement, right? Same way, judge Sade Sati is nothing but judged like you are getting Saturn Dasa. That is the way. So what is the relationship, the lordship, the strength, association, and how it relates to moon? And so let's say, what is it? Which sign is your moon?
Mine is in Bharani.
No, which sign from the
Aries,
Lagna?
Aries.
No,
from 5th house.
Okay, 5th house. So Saturn is going to catch the 5th house. So primarily it has to be something related to 5th house. Progeny, okay, speculation, learning, education, everything related to it. So this is going to be the primary aspect. You have to take it. Just blend the lordship of Saturn and Mars. Wherever Saturn is from your Lagna, that is the epicenter. That house only it is going to affect. For a Sade Sati, I'm saying.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yes, Rahulji.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Sir, for Taurus Lagna, Jupiter is a Karaka. Na? So
yeah,
when Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, will it act as the same Jupiter or?
Yes, no, it act like same. See, Jupiter 8th Lord being exalted is a different meaning. But as far as Saturn in the 11th and the disposer being exalted will be good only.
Okay.
As related to Saturn, it's going to be good.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.